Coach, thanks so much for stopping by. We appreciate it. Football, when did that first become a part of your life? Do you remember when you were first kind of fell in love with the game or remember kind of it being a part of your life?
I think I've always loved football. I can remember even as a young man, I was born and raised in Miami, Florida. I was always a Dolphins fan, Hurricane fan. And as a child, I remember the Super Bowl where the Dolphins played San Francisco 49ers and lost in the Super Bowl, and I cried. I remember when the Dolphins beat the Chicago Bears to end their undefeated season. And then I remember when University of Miami played Notre Dame, and Jimmy Johnson decided to go for two. He didn't get it. I cried, got in trouble. Parents, I didn't want to eat dinner that Saturday evening. My dad and mom sent me to the room. And I really always loved athletics. I always loved the competitive side of it. And that's always stayed with me.
A lot of tears for Dolphins fans probably throughout the years, so you're not alone there. You go into coaching, and coaches spend their whole careers looking for a star, right? You know, some go their whole careers never find one. You find Khalil Mack, now one of the great defensive players in the NFL, Defensive Player of the Year for the Raiders. Tell me how you found, I've read some stories, diamond in the rough. How did you find this kid?
Well, just, beating the bushes, GM at University of Wisconsin, that's what Coach Irish used to always talk about, beat the bushes, beat the bushes. And I had the east coast of Florida at the time, and I went by a school, Fort Pierce, Westwood High School, and the head coach at the time was just raving about this young man, but he was just coming off an injury. And I just stayed in contact with him over the summer. I got his first 3 games his senior year. Fell in love with him. He was able to bend, sink. He was relentless to the ball, but he didn't have a lot of film. And in recruiting, it starts to move earlier and earlier. And when we was here at Liberty, I was here. He committed to us here at Liberty. I was blessed and the opportunity to go further my career at the University of Buffalo. And then he made that decision to join University of Buffalo.
Yeah, a lot of people may not even realize that he initially committed to come here to Liberty and then ended up going to Buffalo. And obviously what a great career he went on to. But you talk about you moving on. You were here at Liberty first. What was it, from like 04 to 08 or something like that? Yeah, 04 to 08,
yes, sir.
And then you left to go Buffalo, joined Turner Gill. You went to Kansas. Yeah. Did you ever think, you know what, maybe we'll end up back? It's wild how you ended up back here. What went through your mind when you knew that this could be an option coming back for a second time?
It had to be a God thing.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that went through my wife and my thoughts was, this is nobody but God to connect us back here to Liberty. And so, it was definitely surreal. You come back, you leave here. I start off in the Hancock building.
Yeah.
To see the transformation of this university. I tell people, it's not too many people opportunity you run into and you meet them and you can say they were part of a legacy.
Yeah.
And to be a part of Liberty University, you never know how long your career is going to be here, but I can literally say I was a part of a legacy of a person's vision that said we would take this mountain.
What do you feel like is maybe the biggest thing or a couple of things you've learned from your career in coaching? What are some life lessons you feel like you've gained personally?
You look at 1 Corinthians 3, when Paul talks about, he says, hey, I planted the seed, Apollos watered the seed, but God gives the increase. And, for me, I don't like to get emotional about it, but that's what I am. I know I'm a seed planter. I know that God has called me to minister to young men, try to set the example, set the standard for their lives. And sometimes it gets discouraging, it gets harder because you don't think they get it. But then it always comes that email, comes that Facebook message or that phone call that lets you know, Coach, you planted a seed and this is what I'm doing in my life. And that's much greater than wins and losses when you really understand that. And for that makes me coach harder. That makes me want to make sure on the field we're representing not only this university, but the Kings of Kings and Lords of Lords. And, I'm just humbled to know that the Lord called me to do something like this.
That's awesome. Last thing, people just know you as football coach. They see you out there on the field. They see you at practice. Away from the field, what do you do? What are you into? What do you like to do outside of football? Do you even have a chance with the schedule that you keep?
Outside of football, I just love spending time with my family. I think as I get older, I realize the value of my family. I got pictures now. I'm looking at my son. He's 7. And, sometimes you just wonder where the time goes. You know what I mean? And so for me, I think, being around Coach Gill, he's helped me to realize, you love football, you love the grind. I don't have no problem staying here till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. But at the end of the day, you only get one chance with your family. And my 8 years with him, he's taught me, make sure your family is you spend time with them. And, you know, I haven't been perfect all the time, but I think in the last couple of years, I've tried to make sure when I'm at home, I'm home with my family.
Coach, I've been looking forward to this conversation for a long time. I appreciate it.
You, man.
Good luck, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you.